create such powerful, socially conscious, dynamic work. What was your motivation behind this project specifically?
You know, really it was just being a child of the 1970s and the iconography of black empowerment at that time. It was so strong and it was so powerful, but as you get older and you start to learn about the consequences of those passions, and that a lot of the individuals who I looked at as being really empowering, they were complicated, they were human, they had their own kinds of failings, and it really was a question of, do the ends justify the means? So to me, to have the opportunity to create people of color with agency, who were sort of unafraid, who were like Bonnie and Clyde, for an example, I just thought it was a really rich subject area and story area. Originally it was set in the United States. I'd met some producers in the UK who thought it would be really interesting to tell that story over there, and I think and I hope and believe that it is.
So what do you want people to take away from this series?
More than anything, it's a story about consequences and about the consequences of our action. Empowerment, equality, representation, those are all incredibly important things, but how do we get them? How do we achieve them? What does it mean to other individuals? It really is a story about consequences, but at the heart, a love story about two people who sometimes other people don't understand the relationship or why they're together, but when people love each other and when they're down for each other, it really does conquer all.
Now, has this this project affected you personally?
In some ways, I think everything that I've ever worked on has infected me in some ways. The things that I was able to learn, stories that were not my own. You know, we were able to talk to people like Darcus Howe, who was a real icon of the struggle in the UK, and he very sadly just passed away this past week. But Layla Howe, his wife, Farouk Dundee, Neil Kinloch, this amazing photographer who documented this time and space. It's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to talk to individuals who were there, who struggled, who were willing to share their stories because they trusted all of us to hopefully represent those stories in the most positive and honorific way possible. So they touched me. We hope that this story touches other individuals.